Welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 57.
Hello, my name is Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy on Ravelry and Flirk.
I'm Marlicia, also known as Lady Furnico on Ravelry and Flirk, and Fitbit, and everywhere else I'm usually known as Shadowlight or Shadowlight 1.
It's kind of stormy over here, so that's why it's dark. Not much we can really do about that.
Yeah,
It was fairly light when we got started.
It's been very hot. We got to the triple digits today, so hopefully this will clear away some of the heat.
And take my headache with it. I've got a little bit of a headache. Yeah.
Oh, we have welcomes.
Yes, we do.
We have one new member, 5 FIVE 134. She joined a couple days ago. I don't know her name. It wasn't on her page, and she's new to Ravelry as well as new to our group. So we say welcome to her. We're glad to have her with us, and we want to welcome any and all returning members. Thank you for sticking with us. We're glad to have you.
Indeed. And I think you'll be leading the charge today because I don't have that many in the way of whips.
Okay. Our podiversary yarn, I heard from Kimberly that it was, I think she said it was drying and had to be reskeined. I heard from her last week.
I am caught up in the Ravelry group.
I am not.
I am never caught up.
I am a stinker. I'm not yet.
I'm never caught up.
I've been working really hard since we got here. We're not moving, but it feels like we are. We've been lugging boxes back and forth ever since the air conditioner guy came in because we lost a lot of storage space. So we have been deep cleaning. Or by deep cleaning, I mean deep de-stashing, and I don't mean yarn. I mean everything.
No, yarn does not get de-stashed.
No. So, excuse me, with 3 knitters and crocheters, we very rarely get rid of yarn. But that's been keeping me busy, so I'm a little behind on catching up with Ravelry. I hope to do that in the next few days. But again, to get back to what I was saying, Kimberly did say, I got a message from her, I think sometime last week, middle of last week maybe, that, or this past week, that she was rescanning the yarn. So hopefully we'll get it pretty soon and we'll be able to start our, whoa, lightning.
See that lightning?
Butterflies. So we should be getting the yarn soon-ish. I don't know exactly when, but once we all get the yarn, and I know that we all get the yarn, Talia knows we all get the yarn, then we can start the knit and crochet along, which will be fun with the podiversary yarn.
I've been looking forward to doing my Zuzu paddle.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing whatever it is I decide to do. I think I'm doing, like I said, the brontosaurus and a shawl, so we'll see. But moving on. I'm peeling. Sorry, I'm really distractible. I'm very tired today. I don't know why. How many whips do you have today? Just one? Okay, that means... Okay, I have been semi-monogamous, even though...
Whoa!
Yes, we are getting a deluge here right now. Hopefully we will have electricity, but we're working this on battery. Whether or not you get it right away is another thing. But anyway, if you see the lights go off, that's because we lost electricity. I have done a little bit of work. I worked for the first part of the week on the Augustine blanket, which is for Talia's friend Elizabeth and James for their baby.
Which is due in January.
Which is due in January.
And February.
I just have to find which bag it's in. Because I switched it. I put it into my Slip Stitch Studios owl bag.
I forgot you had that bag.
You gave it to me.
I know, it's been a while though.
Well, it had yarn in it. I did a lot of work on this.
Oh, Mom, speaking of bags, Slip Stitch Studios is doing a Star Trek bag, and so is Cloverbird.
Yeah, I saw hers. Yes, I saw hers.
I held off because I wanted Star Wars more than I wanted Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm waiting for something that I want a little... I like Star Trek, but I'm not a huge fan of Star Trek.
It was a sweater bag, and I thought about it.
I did think about it. I thought about the medium-sized one. I'm like, no, I want to wait till she comes out with exactly what I want.
That's what made me hold off, too.
Okay, this is the work I've done on the blanket. Okay, so you can see, and it looks like I've kind of stalled. It's because I guess it was 2 or 3 days ago, I stopped working on this because other things came up. I have some time on this, and
Haven't felt like working on it.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do something I could finish real fast. Excuse me. And I've also got kind of a sweater bug, which, yeah, will lead to some of my stash enhancements. We don't really have a set order to what we do, but anyway, let me try to stay somewhat.
Ooh, win.
Let me try to stay somewhat on track here. I'm doing this Augustine blanket, which is Stop It.
Would you stop it?
Which is the Be My Valentine throw pattern by Rosanna Beck. And yeah, stop. I decided.
I'm punching.
Okay. Yes, I know. I'm going to punch you. I'm crocheting this pattern with a slightly smaller hook and yarn, so that the finished project will be a little smaller than normal. But even so, I may just stop when it's square instead of going and doing the whole thing, because it's supposed to be a lap gan, and it's not that much smaller with the yarn and hook I'm doing, so I may have to just cut it back and see how that works.
Make it more of a baby blanket.
Yeah, I'm using the G hook instead of an H hook, and I'm using sport weight yarn. It's Knit Picks Brava Sport, and I really like that yarn. So it's working well. It moves fast, and I'm using the Fairy Tale colorway and the cream colorway and the Dublin. The Dublin's the green, the Fairy Tale is the purple, and the cream is the cream. Go figure.
Wow.
Do you want me to continue?
Yeah, go ahead and continue.
Okay.
I only have one project, so I want to, eke what time I can out of it.
I didn't do too much work on my desert. I'm not even sure I worked on this. I'm going to show it to you, but I'm not sure I did.
I don't think you did work on it.
I don't think I did.
Because you have been having a definite hate relationship with lace yarn.
Yeah, I don't think I worked on this. I've been tired and I've been busy, so I'm not going to show you that one. Never mind.
She showed it to you, but she's not going to show it to you.
I'm not going to show it to you. It's in my Bright Craft M&M bag. You get to see the pretty bag, but I'm not going to show you the project because there's no sense in it. I didn't do anything on it. Okay, I have two more projects, so I guess I'll show you one. You want me to do one, then you have one, or do you want me to do two after you do one?
Just keep going.
Okay, I'm not going to do all of them. I'll just do one more. I mentioned that I have wanted to do a sweater, and I've been talking about sweaters and the Heaven Sent, Blue Heaven Sent, whatever it was I called the other sweater, and I think I'm going to frog that. It's sitting there. If I do it, I'm going to have to start it over again because I looked at the date on it, and it's been a year. I'm sure my tension has changed, so I'm going to have to redo it anyway. So Tahlia thought I was being too slow about finding another pattern, so she bought me some patterns. I'm going to show you. Where's my...
It wasn't so much I thought that she was being too slow. I thought that she was going to be all talk, and if I didn't push her a little bit, she'd never actually make a sweater.
So I'm going to show you the sweater she gave me. She gave me 3 patterns, which I really love. This one is I can get it to open here. This one is called the Crochet Blue Jacket. I love this one. It's probably the hardest of the 3, so it'll probably be the last one I do. I think I'm going to do all 3 of these. I hope you can see this. She gave me this. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. Okay, she gave me that one. All right, Tahlia, how do I make it go backward again?
Okay. First do this.
Okay. Then I just know enough about this kind of stuff to make me dangerous. Okay, so that's that one. And then there's this one. The picture will come up. We've had issues with the pictures on this one. This is called the Curvature Sweater, I think. Curvature Jacket. I don't want to show you any of the pattern itself because they're all paid patterns. Okay, that's one. I'll probably do this one next because I think it's the next easiest. And then the third one she gave me is the one I'm doing. It's called
will be doing.
Yeah, the Eyelet Yoke Cardigan. I think this is so pretty. Look at the detailing on the yoke. It's just gorgeous. So these are part of my stash enhancements. Can you see it all right? I can't tell the glare.
They can, as best as they can. There's a little bit of glare, but I think it's fine.
So she gave me those 3, and the one I decided to work on is the one I just showed you, the Eyelet. So I made I made 4 swatches for this pattern. It's in my Monet bag, and
You're just hearing rain in the background.
yeah, sorry, we can't do anything about that. I made.
You need to talk to Storm about it. Or
yes, or somebody. Yes. Whoa, somebody's having a temper tantrum. Okay, I did. It asked for a. I think it asked for an H hook to start with. I did all these swatches in the same single double crochet pattern. You know, one row single, one row double, and they were all too big. And I did. These are 3 different hook sizes. So I said, okay, I'm going to go down to a sport weight yarn and leave the smallest. I think this is an F. I can't read this. Is that an F?
Yes.
So this is an F hook with a sport weight, and I hit gauge. So this is the straight. I guess if the equivalent in knitting would be a stockinette.
But she's going to do this color.
I'm going to do that color. I think it's called, I forget what it's called. I'll tell you next time. And then this
Solstice,
is
isn't it?
Solstice, I think it is. And this is the yoke. So I'm really happy I got gauged on it. I can't start the sweater until my yarn comes in. It did ship. And I actually had to order another worsted of this color because I used so much of it for the swatches. But I'm happy. I'm on my way with this. It seems like it'll work out fairly quickly. Yes, I'm on my way. So I'm happy about that. I just changed the weight of the yarn and the hook. Apparently, I'm a very loose crocheter because I have to do it with everything that I tried to do for sweaters that I've tried so far. So, okay, Talia, go ahead. I'll do my other one after you're done with yours.
Okay, so.
Oh, get something to drink if you'd like. I'm having iced tea this time, raspberry iced tea, because it's warm and we just finished eating.
I'm just having my frappuccino again. I think the mixture of the caffeine plus it finally raining is helping a little bit with my headache.
Yeah.
So, I am working one project.
Ha ha ha.
In comparison to last week, I think it was Snooks who was saying
one.
Just one. Sorry.
Happy birthday, Catherine.
Yes. Belatedly.
Yes, that's TARDIS Traveler 42.
Because remember, 42 answered everything.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm working one project, which is a marked contrast to last week. I think it was Snooks who was like, oh, well, at least you're not monogamous. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, this week I'm monogamous.
Monogamous.
Do, 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 do. Monogamous. Do, 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 do. Monogamous. Although that's better than us starting to sing.
We were walking down the street yesterday, and this little doe, deer. We've been seeing rabbits and excuse me, rabbits and other wildlife, and I see this little doe looking at us eating apples off the tree.
Crab apples.
Yeah. So we're like,
doe, a deer, a female deer.
And we went through the whole song. People are just kind of like,
people start driving by. Looking at us.
The deer's just going,
and the deer's like, eat a little apple, looking at us. Eat a little bit more of an apple, looking at us.
We just broke into song. It's a musical in progress.
Yes. So,
okay, go on. One more project before we get sidetracked again.
Well, this is going to take a while because I'm going to ink it for every little bit I can. But I'm calling it Mr. Rogers' Pretty Fight. I think I showed you some of it last week. It's the antler cardigan by Tin Can Knits. I got this pattern for free at Christmas time when she was giving away patterns. I am working this project using Knit Picks Bravo Worsted in the red colorway. And I got this yarn when they were having the deal where you could get one skein free. So I approximately am spending only like $30 on this whole project. Because the pattern was free and the yarn was cheap. So this is really quite nice. The reason I'm monogamous is that I want to finish this project in time for September when we go on retreat and go to the Shenandoah Fiber Festival. So that's my ultimate goal. The pattern calls for US 8 and US 6 needles. I'm using US 7 and US 5 to get gauge.
Because we never do anything the way we're supposed to.
I guess I'm a fairly loose knitter. I'm working this project while taking the Knit to Flatter class by Amy Herzog on Craftsy. So I'm working the pattern, but it's being adjusted to add shaping. So I'm working out of 2 bags. Technically, I'm supposed to be doing the sleeves and the body. I started to get bored, so I'm working the sleeves and the body at the same time. The sleeves are residing
Batman.
in my Batman bag, which the Plover Bird made particularly for me. I asked Melissa for a Batman bag, and she looked for a bunch of fabrics, asked us which ones were my favorites, and I absolutely love this one because it's so unique.
I need to ask her to find me a Stargate.
So,
I wonder if she can find that.
One of my favorite bags. And there's the inside. It's got pows and waps and
Baps and bips.
bang. So, zoom. So it holds my sleeves. Yes, sleeves plural. One sleeve is finished. It's still attached to yarn because it didn't tell me to bind off. So it doesn't quite take a full skein of yarn to do this. I still have a little bit left. So
Very pretty.
there's one sleeve, which is all done. I think last week when I showed you this project, I was to about here on this sleeve because I just started.
And I apologize if you hear any banging in the background. My husband's working in the wood shop downstairs, doing something or other.
And I started the second sleeve, so I'm about where I was on the first sleeve last week on the second sleeve. Excuse me.
There's a lot of allergens flowing around, and I think we also have colds.
Okay, so 2 sleeves.
2?
Well,
Just 2.
One complete,
Just 2.
one that's being worked on. And then in my Plover Bird TARDIS bag, another sweater bag that I was lucky enough to score, is the body of the sweater. Initially, I cast on for, because they want you to do hips with negative. Amy Herzog suggests that you do hips with negative ease.
That's tight, isn't it?
Yes. She says because otherwise sweater fabric tends, yarn after it's knit up tends to stand out on its own, so it makes your hips seem larger, versus if you do negative eases, it sort of clings a little bit to the hips and doesn't make your hips look bigger than they are.
As long as it's not too tight.
Exactly.
Right.
She suggests 1 to 3 inches of negative ease. I'm doing 2.5.
That's probably good.
I initially did 3, and then she was like, well, that makes it a little too close to your hips, what you're doing for your hips, and then you want, what you're doing for your waist, excuse me. So there's not going to be much of a difference between your waist and your hips. How about you do 2.5, and then you'll notice more of a difference.
Right.
So I calculated. It was a lot easier just to do 3 because I didn't have to do the math. But I calculated how many stitches I'd have to cast on for the hips. I cast on 147, and I calculated my decreases and increases for waist shaping. I'm still in the middle of my decreases. That's what the stitch markers are there for, to tell me where to decrease.
Do you have to seam that?
This is a cardigan.
Oh, it's a cardigan. Okay. That's right.
In retrospect, I kind of wished I had worked the button band while I was making the sweater, but I'm not going to tear this out again. Not unless I find I need to shape it.
She already had to tear it out once, right?
Yeah, I already teared it out once when I cast on for the smaller size for the waist and was just going to make a freaking sweater. Combining the 2 sweater sizes. But, so I'm not going to do that again. It does have me thinking, though, that if I take a few more of the crafty classes on design, I might eventually. I'm getting the sweater design bug. And I might try to design one with the button band already in place. I hate picking up stitches for a button band. I don't understand completely why more sweaters don't have the button band already built in. Because the baby sweater I made already had the button band built in. I didn't have to pick up stitches and it was gorgeous and happy.
Even if you didn't want to finish the sleeve.
Well, that's because I had to pick up stitches for the sleeve.
Well, as soon as she figures out how to do that, I'll be glad to give it a try.
So, there we go. The body has been started. The sleeves are well on their way. It's working up fairly quickly. I am getting a little bored. Last night, I think I was just tired though.
Well, it's all stockinette, right?
It's all stockinette, yeah. And I haven't been letting myself work on anything else.
Right.
I'll be happy when when our yarn comes in.
Right.
And I could use these petals as well. But I want to get more progress on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work if I want to get my sweater done.
Yep, you will. You're gonna have to let like everything else slide.
Except for the.
At least it's crochet.
Yes.
Whereas like crochet can be like an inch per stitch.
Knitting. Oh yeah.
An inch per row. Mine is like 7 rows per inch. So.
Yeah. Depending on what you're doing, sometimes single crochet stuff can really just be tedious.
But there we go. Progress is being made from when we saw it last. I am looking forward to when I get to the top and I have the cabling. But right now this is a nice boring knit. I like having a boring knit available. Because then I can just speed through it.
You have to pay over much attention, which is nice.
Yeah. Yep, there we go, my only project.
Okay, I do have one more whip, and this is also a stash enhancement. I was complaining at Tahlia because, as I said, I wanted to finish something, have something that could, be easy to do and finish up quickly. And she bought it for me because she does things like that. So this is called the Easy Breezy Ponchette, and this is what I just started this yesterday, right?
Yes.
She gave it to me yesterday, and I started it up. Okay. I am using, and I'll show you the yarn in just a second. This is by, I'm calling it Serenity. It's the Easy Breezy pattern by Sasha. Okay. I'm using a J hook and Crystal Palace's yarns mini mochi yarn in the Neptune colorway. Let me show you that colorway before I show you the progress I've made. Oops, I'm just not very with it today. It's in my Cloverbird teapot bag, which I love. And this is the Neptune colorway, the mini mochi. It's a sock yarn. Isn't that pretty? Definitely my colors. I've had this for, 2 years or a year and a half or something like that?
Something like that.
Just waiting. I thought it would be a shawl.
It's probably closer to a year and a half than 2 years.
Yeah.
Because we really didn't start going to that yarn shop until I was knitting. And I started knitting not this past December, but December before that.
Right. And it was the first time we went. Then you picked up this, and I picked up this. I got the other yarn with the my gray yarn.
Yeah.
So this is
it's like almost a year and a half.
This is machine washable. It's 80% merino wool and 20% nylon. There's 195 yards in it. This pattern takes it asks for, I think, 460 yards or something like that. I have just enough yarn for it, so I was really happy about that. I started it yesterday, and this is the progress I've made on it so far. Okay.
It's actually crazy to think that talking about when you got this yarn, it's crazy to think that we haven't been doing this that long.
No, we haven't. And this is it's going to come over the shoulders, it's about this long. I did add 6 stitches because with my hair and with the bobby pins I wear, I didn't want it catching. So it looks a little bit loose right now. I'll just kind of fiddle with it when I make it, but just kind of play with it. It's this side that's not. This is the first time I've actually looked at it. I'm not very.
Well, Mom, you can't really arrange it until it's done.
Right. But you can get an idea. So I'm happy about it. It's moving along very quickly. The pattern's easy to memorize. I love it. I love the colors. Um, the next one I do, and I probably will do another one, I might just go ahead and do the suggested size in terms of um, chaining. But I'm not unhappy with adding the 6. You have to do multiples of 6, and that's not giving anything away. So um, I really like it. I'm really happy with it, and I hope to have this done by next week, and then I will just work on Elizabeth and my sweater probably until the yarn comes in for our podiversary. So that's that.
Okay, which leads us on to...
Do we have FOs?
No FOs.
No FOs.
While we were doing our destashing in the house, Mom found some buttons. It's not the size suggested by the antler pattern, but I think that it will look very nice.
Yeah, my mom had given that to me for a camel coat that I had, which has since been, I don't know what I did with it. I think I gave it to Goodwill.
So I think there's enough buttons because there's 6 of them here. The 7th one does not match in spite of what you keep trying to tell me. So I'm hoping that, I think that'll be enough buttons for this. So I don't even have to buy buttons.
Right.
I'll just have to change the buttonhole size, which will be fine.
And you have another stash enhancement because I already gave, I
Yes.
already did all mine.
I just want to mark off this row before.
You have 2 other stash enhancements.
No, I know yours.
And the bag.
Oh, well, yeah. That was from last week, though.
Mm-hmm.
When Mom and Dad went to university, they picked up a lights, camera, and take action bag. So I guess I didn't think of it as stash enhancement because
it was a throw-in.
Yeah.
It was a throw-in. Kind of like the bag she got me, the M&M bag she said was a throw-in. This was kind of a throw-in. But we wanted to get it for her.
So there we go. It'll probably hold yarn or something.
That's what I figured. I didn't think you'd put a project in it.
And then the other, it might have to take back seat if I really get the designing bug, but do you have any stash?
No, I did all my patterns.
Okay.
Yeah. You need to charge your thing.
Well, it just got off some charging, but. Hang on, got it.
What's that what it's called?
So this is the Palm de Pin cardigan by Amy Christophers.
Palm de Pin.
And I'm actually gonna turn.
Yeah, that's why I threw mine. I couldn't see it better. Can you enlarge the picture at all? There you go.
And there it is. It looks like it's fairly simple, which is nice. It requires DK. With my gauge, it means either I'm going to have to go down to fingering, or
Like that. That's pretty.
I'm just going to have to just go down needle size or whatever. I have 1 DK sweater's worth of yarn and 1 fingering sweater's worth of yarn. So I can't buy more yarn. I have a sweater's worth of yarn coming in. So I really should not buy more sweaters worth of yarn. I have a whole bunch of sweaters worth of yarn.
Well, you can use one that you have.
Well, it has to be either DK or fingering. Because worsted, knowing my gauge, I will not be able to make worsted work for this if it requires DK.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It requires sport.
Oh, yeah. I might have enough.
It's fine. I have a DK's worth and I have a fingering's worth. I can make one of the two.
Well,
work.
DK is pretty close to sport, so.
And if not, I just have to wait this pattern until I ate through some of my sweater yarn, which is fine.
This was kind of a thank you gift for all the patterns she gave me, so I liked it. It's pretty.
Yes, it is very pretty and looks nice and simple, which is good. And also, I almost forgot. Along with the Knit to Flatter Crafty class, got the Knit to Flatter book. It has the patterns that she mentions in the class, and goes over what's best for each body type. I'm a bottom heavy shape.
Yeah, we've been having fun measuring everybody.
And this is one of the bottom heavy suggestions. I rather like that. I think it's pretty. Look at all the detail on the sleeves. So it's nice. I don't use the book a whole lot. I mostly have it marked for the section on waist shaping and where to make modifications.
It's been helpful for all, since we have
Oh yeah, when we did the measurements.
We have a lot of females, all my poor husband. There's 3 girls in this house, and so it's nice to know what we can wear. I mean, you tend to wear what you like, but it's nice to know what looks best on us.
Yeah.
And my other daughter, she doesn't quite get what looks good on her, so now if we can refer her to this, instead of her thinking that we're trying to push it on her, if it's something to do with fashion, she's all for it. So,
yeah, she doesn't think that we're just being mean then, and it's just, not appreciating her style. Then it's like, oh, well, we were actually referring to something.
Yeah, because she's very much the fashion diva. So
that's what she thinks anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, that should be my.
This seems like it's gonna be really short.
I think it is gonna be really short. Well, I only had one whip.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna. I hope we're not gonna be boring you too much because we are gonna be a little monogamous trying to finish things. Excuse me. But we will do our best to not bore you, make you sleepy, or you can watch us if you're having trouble sleeping and we're boring and you can go to sleep.
If I have anything else on the show notes that I want to talk about. I mean, I worked on 500 Club pieces. Mostly I've been working on this sweater right here. I mean, that's why I got so much progress done on it.
I mean, our obsessions and things. I mean, I've been going through, our obsessions have been getting this house in order the whole week. I mean, I haven't done anything. I didn't even work this week in terms of my work for Seton, which is a home study school. I didn't do that even. We got home and all we've been doing is our obsession has been getting this house in order, and it's almost there, not quite.
Batman comics came in.
Yeah, you should have. And we've done a lot of walking when we can. It's been really hot, and I don't do well in the heat, but we were walking a lot. And then
my mouse pad came in.
Oh yeah, you didn't show me that. Cool.
Oh, I didn't show you my mouse pad.
Cool.
Yeah. Nightwing and Batman. This is Jim Lee's artwork.
Very nice. That's cool.
I think it's from Hush, actually.
I actually like that. That's cool.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, it has both Bruce and Dick on it, so.
Yes.
Yes, I love Nightwing. He's awesome.
But so that, I'm glad you showed that because that was the fashion answer, sort of. Basically, I don't know about Tahlia, but I was looking at my Ravelry project pages, and I've got a lot of things that are in whip status and a few things that are hibernating. So I don't know that I'll be doing a whole lot of new stuff until I whittle that down. I do have the sweater I want to cast on. I know we have the bee leaf shawl coming up whenever Michelle settles down a little bit, and that I'm hoping that'll be after the retreat and after maybe even after Christmas.
Well, I pretty much plan to always have one boring sweater in the works because, now granted, your sweater kind of falls in there. But I don't usually count that as my boring. That's my usually when I'm not trying to get a sweater done, that's my traveling, in my purse project. The Vivian. I had a scare with the Vivian.
Oh yeah.
Because I was talking to Mom about how, her gauge might have changed, and I was talking how my gauge probably has changed since I first started because I've become a looser knitter. And more relaxed knitter. And I started thinking about, oh crap, I've been working the Vivian for a year. Over a year.
For the same reason I went to tear out the other one.
And I freaked out. I was like, that's got a lot of cables. I probably didn't cast it on to the right size.
All the charts?
All the charts. So I measured gauge on the stitches I had there. I measured what it was supposed to be. And I'm still getting gauge, which is good. I thought I might not because I went up a needle size instead of my typical going down a needle size. I was like, oh crap, this thing's going to be huge. Because I probably should have cast on for the size below that. I'll be okay with the size 36. bust, but it'll be a little loose. But I was like, oh darn, it's gonna be a little loose anyway. And then I went up a needle size and said, going down a needle size, this thing's gonna be ginormous. But it looks like I'm okay. Because if I had to tear that out, I wasn't gonna be casting it on again.
If it is big, and you like it, you can always use it as a heavy sweater over,
Yeah, I hope it's not big. If it's too big, I'm ripping it out. Because I can always reclaim it. So yeah.
So we have a lot of things that we want to finish, and a couple of newer things. I'm hoping, like I said, I know we were slated to do the bee leaf shawl thing this summer, and then Michelle, had to move, and they're moving today or yesterday. They were moving across the state, so they're probably getting set up. I'm hoping in a way that we don't start until at least October or so with that, so we can get some things done. I want to try to get the eyelet sweater done by September, so I'm going to have to really focus on that. But other than that, I'd like to try to get some of the toys done, my Ella Foof and my Ugly Moose and a couple other things, and shawls and other things that are just sitting there waiting to be done.
Yeah, I have to get the buttons on the baby sweater, but that's really not going to take too much time.
Right, and the blanket shouldn't take too much time either. I'll probably bring that in every now and then when I have.
Just for the interest factor.
We have to change up. I mean, I want things that I don't have to pay attention to, and that's Elizabeth's blanket and the little cowl that I'm making right now. Because for a while I was just so tired that I couldn't focus on anything that required any thought whatsoever. For the writing, I have the shared story, and I have written on it. Since I got back, I think I've written on it 3 days in a row. I didn't write on it today, but I did 2 or 3 days in a row. And I'm almost to the point where I'll be writing new material. I did do a 500 Club piece for the Writer's Voice. And I posted another prompt for the Voice, which I have an idea for, but I don't know if I can keep it under 500 words. We'll see. And then
you keep posting prompts that aren't sparking me.
Oh, well, that's part of the writing. You have to,
Well, I think
I'm trying to mix it up a little bit, because if I do too many fantasy-oriented, not everybody writes fantasy. So I can turn almost anything into fantasy, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm also being a prompt mistress this week for the another online writing group, the Percolator, and I've been doing critiques for my couple other different writing areas. So I've been busy on the writing front. Anything else for you, Ty?
Nope, I've pretty much been knitting and reading comics, kind of like last week, actually.
Yeah. We're kind of boring. I mean, we did, we officially let our religious education director know that we will not be doing CCD with our pre-K this year. We're not going to do it.
And it turns out they weren't going to have pre-K anyway.
Yeah, they were going to put us in 3rd grade, which is okay. We said that was our limit, our age group limit, but it was just getting to be too much for us. So we decided that, we needed to do things around the house. I wanted to get my house clean and have a day where we actually did cooking, some cleaning, maybe did something with Davina, which we don't get a chance to do sometimes. It's time to focus on our hobbies, just a day where we didn't have to do something. So we're just not going to do it this year. We've got enough going on. It's not like we're dropping out from the church or anything. So in our activities, so it's okay. And she understood that. She just told us if we wanted to teach again to let her know. So I'll miss the kids, but we want to have
it was a good class to end on. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're both kind of tired.
Yeah, I told my husband I almost fell asleep on the couch today because I was so tired. He said, "Don't go to sleep because you'll have trouble sleeping tonight. Then you'll be tired tomorrow." So I am really not quite with it. I do apologize. Do we have anything that we just say we did at the Podiversity? We don't have to worry about the toy along just yet.
Nope, we're just waiting on our Podiversity yarn, and when that comes in, we'll be able to
get started on that.
Yep.
So we thank you for joining us for this episode. Where is my thing? Oh, here it is. Episode 57, right?
Yep.
We thank you for joining us. We look forward to spending more time with you next week. Hopefully we'll have more to show you and tell you. We should. We have yarn coming in.
Yes.
Um,
Kim really R had up on her site for a while on the Etsy. What was it called? Black cherry.
yeah, black cherry.
Some black cherry yarn, and I wanted it months ago, but I was like, no. At that point, I had just bought the Podiversary yarn. That was right. It was right around the time I bought the Podiversary yarn. And I was like, no, I shouldn't buy another sweater's worth of yarn. I'm gonna be good. Although I posted on Facebook so everyone could see the pretty. And then I kept thinking about it, but I let it be. And we were actually taking a walk, and I was telling Mom, man, I really wish I had that black cherry black cherry yarn by Kimberly R. That's just such a pretty yarn. And she went on Etsy and took a look and was like, oh, hey, guess what? That yarn's still available.
6 of them.
Six of them. And I was like, really? And I went and bought it. So I have a sweater's worth.
No elf control.
Well, I love that yarn.
It's very pretty.
It's my colors.
I do have a couple yarns in Etsy that are sitting there waiting for me to determine what I'm going to do with them if I do buy them. Because I have a lot of yarn. I really shouldn't buy any more yarn until the Shenandoah Fiber Festival. Yeah. And if anybody is going to the Shenandoah Fiber Festival in the end of September, I already know a couple people who are. But if you are, let us know because we'd love to see you there. We are planning on going, God willing, to.
I have the time already asked off.
And it's only a town over from us, so we would love to meet some of the viewers, other podcasters, whoever's there. That would be great. It is growing from what I understand, so it might be well worth the effort. It is in, I think it's in Berryville, isn't it?
Oh, I can't remember.
I think it's in Berryville, Virginia. So we'd love to see it.
And I think that Scarlet Setter said that she's going to try to go. And what's her name? Violet Town. Chain of Fools?
Chain of Fools, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 2 of us, and I'm hoping Kimberly R. will be there.
That's 4.
I have 2 more others. I hope Kimberly R. will be there, and maybe Wild Hair will be there. This is local to her, so who knows may show up. We hope to see you there. But the long and the short of it here to saying goodbye and so long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, good night, is happy knitting, happy crocheting. God bless. Have a wonderful day, and this is episode 57. Cut.